Well, the Ailes Apprentice Program is a one-of-a-kind mentoring program started by our chairman and CEO, Roger Ailes, to promote diversity inside the television news industry and to celebrate Black History Month. We have teamed up with the program to bring you some remarkable stories inside the African-American community. Once again, I am joined by one of the co-hosts of Outnumbered and the anchor of Fox Report Weekend, Harris Faulkner, who's here with our last amazing story, to say the least, about a hometown hero who is known for his television work, but also whose legacy will come from what he's doing off camera. Fascinating.
Absolutely. Good to see you this morning.
Always great to have you.
Well, we are talking about one of the great character actors of his generation. Some of you may know him as Bunk or Antoine in HBO series like The Wire. And just last night, his very funny role on the new Odd Couple. I was sitting home and I caught it. It puts him back on the Hollywood list to watch. But Wendell Pierce, true character, is intertwined with the city of New Orleans. This August, it will be 10 years since Hurricane Katrina decimated his old neighborhood. And after that storm, many people he knew and loved packed up and left for good, but not Wendell. He started to rebuild his community, first house by house, then street by street.
Coming through the neighborhood the first time was devastating. I just knew how much people have put into building their lives back here in the first place, to have a part of the American dream totally destroyed. And then here you have another home that just shows you the effects of the storm still. But in the middle of this, bring back hope.
Of all the parts in New Orleans, Katrina might have hit Pontchartrain Park the worst, a neighborhood with deep connections to the Black community, but one Wendell Pierce simply calls home.
I flew in that Saturday for family vacation, and I got to the airport, and I was like, "What's going on?" And they said, "The hurricane." And I said, "What hurricane?" I said, "The one in Florida." They said, "It made a turn. It's coming this way."
Authorities say this may be the worst of it, but the longer it goes on, the worse the damage is going to be here and elsewhere.
And I remember my father just kind of looking at the walls like an old school New Orleanian, saying, "Well, how much will the water rise?" Little did he know that this entire neighborhood where we sit today is the deepest part of the flooding. It sat in 20 feet of water for about 3 months.
When Wendell did return home, the devastation was profound.
Driving to Pontchartrain Park was like what I would think Chernobyl looked like. Empty and abandoned, and then all the buildings destroyed. And then to get home, this is a man and woman who bought this house 50 years ago to raise their family. My father just broke down, And so it was like the loss of a family member.
It was a moment that shook Wendell, prompting him to action.
I committed myself to saying, whatever I do, I'm going to make sure to get them back in this home before they die.
And he did. 2 years later, his parents moved into a new house on their old lot just in time for Christmas.
And then neighbors came to me afterwards and said, make sure that we all come back. There's one of our homes there.
Nearly a decade later, you can see his new home sprinkled throughout the neighborhood.
Our goal is to build 150 homes, and right now we're at 40. We're still moving forward, and it's brick by brick, house by house, street by street, neighborhood by neighborhood, and we're coming back.
Can't thank him enough, because without Wendell, we wouldn't be here, and I don't think this neighborhood would be here as it is now.
And that's what it's about, generational, man, because what our parents gave us, opportunity, that's why I couldn't let this neighborhood go away. It was too valuable.
Thank you.
Thank you. My connection to New Orleans is, it's in my DNA, and that's why I work so hard to make sure it comes back. It's one of those places where while many people say you can never go home again, I'll keep trying, because this place is so special. There's so few places like it. So few places like it.
Home, truly where the heart is. And they love him down there. Everywhere our team went, they referred to him as Saint Wendell, a hometown kid who's made it big in Hollywood. He's currently in the Oscar-nominated Selma in theaters, in addition to the TV gigs that I mentioned. But he never forgot where he came from, his own history, and still has a house right there in Pontchartrain Park. And from those preserving history, as Wendell is, to those making it into the history books, it's what we call our shared American history this month. I love doing it. Our 4th year, I'm with you on the couch, and it's such a joy.
Truly outstanding. So impactful is this series, Harris. I have to thank you personally. Great series indeed. Your comments have continued to come in on it, and we know that it's sponsored by one inspirational program. We take mentoring pretty seriously around these parts. So if you want to learn more about the program, or you want to see all the profiles that we have presented this month, just check out our website at foxnews.com/AilesApprentice. And we want to give one more thanks to you.
Thank you.
Outstanding job.
I love being here
We'll see you
with
outnumbered later, my friend.